This video is for educational purposes only and is not legal advice. Consult a qualified attorney for guidance on your specific situation. The radio interview presented is a reconstruction for educational purposes, and AI was used to create some of the content.
Good morning and welcome back to Legal Matters. I'm Sarah, and today we're talking about a legal topic here in California called conversion. No, not about religion or currency. This is about property and the law. With me is Professor James Whitfield, an expert in California law. Professor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Sarah. It's great to be here.
So let's start very simply. What does conversion mean under California law?
In California, conversion is when someone wrongfully kicks control over another person's personal property. In other words, if you own or have the right to use something, and another person interferes with that right in a serious way, that can be conversion.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine you lend your neighbor your bike. Later, you ask for it back, but your neighbor refuses to return it. Under California law, that refusal, keeping your property after you demand it back, can count as conversion. Other examples include someone taking your property, preventing you from accessing it, or even destroying it.
So it's not just stealing.
That's right. Stealing is a crime. Conversion is a civil wrong, or what we call a tort. In California, you can sue someone for conversion even if they didn't mean harm, as long as they knowingly did the act. It's about control over property, not necessarily bad intentions.
Interesting. What does a person need to prove in court here in California if they claim conversion?
Good question. First, the person must show that they own the property or had the right to possess it. Second, they need to show that the other person seriously interfered with it, for example, by taking it, blocking access to it, destroying it, or refusing to give it back. Third, they must show that they did not consent to that interference. Fourth, that they suffered some kind of harm. And finally, that the other person's actions were a substantial reason for that harm.
So if I gave permission, like, sure, you can keep my bike for the summer, then it's not conversion?
Exactly. Under California law, consent removes the wrongful part. Without consent, it's wrongful.
What about accidents? Say someone borrows something and it gets destroyed in a fire. Would that be conversion?
Usually not. Negligence or accidents are not enough. In California, conversion requires that the person knowingly or intentionally did the act. For example, refusing to give the property back. That's intentional.
What can someone get if they win a conversion case in California?
They can get the property back or money equal to its value. Sometimes they can also get damages for the loss of use or even emotional distress, if the case justifies it.
Does this apply only to physical things like bikes or cars?
Mostly, yes. It's about personal property, not land. But in California, courts have applied it to things like stocks, money in certain cases, or even digital property like account information.
Wow. So it really matters how we handle other people's property.
Exactly. California law is strict here. Even if you acted in good faith, if you took control of something that isn't yours and refused to give it back, you may still be liable.
Professor Whitfield, thank you for explaining this so clearly.
My pleasure, Sarah.
And that's today's Legal Spotlight on Legal Matters. Remember, here in California, respect other people's property or the law may step in. This conversation is for educational purposes only and not legal advice. For guidance on your specific situation, always consult with a qualified attorney. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Question. Under California law, which of the following is required to prove a claim of conversion? A. The defendant acted accidentally or negligently. B. The plaintiff gave consent to use the property. C. The plaintiff had a right to the property. The defendant intentionally interfered without consent, causing harm. D. Conversion only applies to stealing, not civil claims. Correct answer C. The plaintiff had a right to the property. The defendant intentionally interfered without consent, causing harm.